Hey folks, welcome back to the channel and this week's Today in Tarkov, the video where we get you caught up on everything that happened all week in Tarkov so you're not missing out on anything. Now, it was somewhat of a quiet week this week for the most part. We didn't get any furthering of Rizhi's story arc or any events like that. But BSG rolled in this morning, Friday, with something we've never seen before, a roadmap for the updates. On top of that, they've continued to tune, which is just a nice way to say nerf, 9x39 ammo in the weapons, the Asval and the VSS. Got to change to scav boss spawns, and then some new pictures of streets. So let's get all into it and get you caught up. So first things first, let's talk about SP6 because that's what got pretty much changed. That's all the changes are around that. SP6, first off, it's 21, almost 2200 around now from proper, as you can see right here. It still runs out on resets pretty quickly. You don't have to like get it the very first like 30 seconds, but 10-15 minutes, maybe half hour, it usually runs out right now. People are buying it up, not just because it's a good ammo to shoot, but you also need it for a couple of crafts. In addition, they increased its durability burn and heat. And what that means is you are going to jam much more frequently with it if you are full autoing it. Here, I'll just go in right now and show you with this one right here. We will full auto and you'll see how fast the barrel heats right up. We get through the full mag, we reload, and we're gonna jam right out the gate just because the barrel's so hot. Right there. And we'll probably continue to jam over and over again. I'll do a couple here just to show you guys. See, right, next bullet jammed. This is going to be if you're using SP6 only and not SPP or the SP5. Those aren't quite as bad, and we're just jamming consistently, and that's because the gun doesn't burn off heat very well either. So just keep that in mind when you're using the VSS. If you're full autoing it, you're going to risk jamming up your gun pretty frequently. So either bring a pistol with you or a second VSS if you're rich. I don't know. Keep that in mind with SP6 especially, but also BP and PAB9 will do the same thing. In addition, they changed the craft. So the craft as it sits now is 200 HP with 3 green gunpowders, 2 xenomorphs, and then it's going to take, for me, it's 5 hours and 41 minutes to make 200 rounds, but the base is 9 hours, 13 minutes. And what this has done is it has basically increased the price of SP6 to about 1,000 rubles a round to craft. So that's what you're looking at to craft it if you want to. Now, in addition to this, we saw scav boss spawns increase. I have definitely been running into them more. I ran into, in about 10 raids, I ran into Gluhar twice, Tagilla once, Reshala twice on either scav or PMC, but you're definitely seeing them more frequently, so be warned of that. You will run into the scav bosses more often now. And then on Thursday, we got some more pictures from BSG as far as stuff of streets. Some kind of camping outdoors store mall kind of deal, because we got that, and then another pavilion that isn't inside interchange. So somewhere there's some kind of shopping center or something like that, or maybe standalone shops on streets, along with a pretty big movie theater. It looks like, I guess it could be something other than a movie theater, but that's what it looks like to me. And then this kind of looks like a theater building, maybe. I don't know. I'm guessing. Just some more outside pictures of the expansion of streets for down the road, which we'll talk about with the roadmap. Here's the roadmap, and I'll put links for this stuff so you can go look at them yourselves. But the next thing up is going to be patch 13.05, which is a technical update, and they're going to fixes for visual problems with flashlights, the way they function, and the light on weapons. So this sounds not just hopefully a fix for the flashlight bug that we all know about. If you don't, go check out my video. I'll have the editor put a picture of the thumbnail somewhere above that you guys can see it, and a link down below. But go check that out, talking about the flashlight bugs if you don't know about that, as well as maybe hopefully fixing the fact that they shine through floors and walls and all sorts of goofy shit. And then maybe balancing, who knows? I don't know exactly what this means, other than that's what they say, and fingers crossed we get some fixes out of it. They're going to rework of Sky on all locations. Haven't heard anything really about this yet. If it's a fixing of things, there's a couple of interesting issues with the Sky, from how lighting works and how it can kind of make black holes and things like that. Like visually, stuff will just be jet black and you can't see through it until you get closer to it. or how like the moon and the sun, it's like a light switch. It's not the sun, it's the moon. When the moon goes down at like, I think it's like 3 a.m. and it turns on at like 11 p.m. The sky just poof, all of a sudden it looks like a light switch comes on and everything gets brighter. If you're out at night, hopefully that is being addressed. We'll see. Those are all speculations. I'm just trying to see what reworking to the sky on the locations could mean, what it means in my mind. Audio, Oculus audio tweaks on interchange and lighthouse locations. So this is big for interchange, obviously, because it still has not had its audio addressed yet this wipe. And with the lighting changes and stuff, I think this might make interchange one of the more popular maps again. Even though it kind of lacks loot, it's one of the most fun PvP locations in the game just because of the way it's built. So lighting has made that better. So hopefully we'll get some audio addressed here pretty soon. Changes in the headset system. So I'm guessing they're gonna. I don't know. We're gonna get some changes. I don't want to guess on this one with how headsets work. Changes in AI voice line playback system, in particular their frequency, volume, and positioning. So the AI voice lines can be kind of weird and where they sound and how loud they are. So this, I'm guessing that addresses that. The fixes for incorrect sound and volume of gunshots and explosions at short distances. Just more fine-tuning of the audio system is what that boils down to me. And fixes for incorrect movement of bots in the prone position. I'm thinking this is like how they spin, or they're kind of pointing up in the air or down into the ground, and they still shoot at you even though it doesn't look like they're aiming at you. We'll see what that exactly means if we get any more information on it. Now, this is patch 13.05. There's no date attached to it. We know we're supposed to get another big patch in May. What is entitled to that? I'm guessing that's going to be this patch. So is that going to be early May? Is that going to be end of May? I don't know. It's a guess. And it could be June, I guess. They could be delayed. But that's what we're expecting to see with patch 13.05. And then there is no patch with this. It's just the transition to Unity 2021. And they don't need to do this with a wipe or anything like that. If anybody's telling you that, they've done many Unity patches in the past without a wipe. So the next one up is Unity 2021. And they don't need to do this with a wipe or anything. So if anybody's telling you that, just ignore them. They've done lots of Unity upgrades in the past without a wipe. And what that means is we might not even see anything on our end. Other than actually sometimes the game actually behaves a little bit worse because they've got to update some things and it finds some holes in the transition. And all of a sudden the game just starts to run like crud when they do this update. We'll probably be told when they do it, but nonetheless, they say it's going to allow the introduction of new technologies aimed at optimizing and updating graphics, including support for HDR, reducing memory consumption by optimizing the memory usage of locations and items. The Unity upgrades are mostly for the dev side, which is good because it means they get stuff done faster. They can make better changes, but we may not even see anything on the player side right away with the Unity 2021 update, which is why there's probably not a patch number attached to it. Then after that, we got patch 13.1, which is another technical update. Fundamental changes to the architecture of display and synchronization of players on the client and their connection to the server, including gradual increase in the number of players and bots in raid to 60. Now, don't freak out. They're not going to put 60 players on customs. This is meant for streets, and they're going to gradually do it. They might increase 1 or 2 here or there, or maybe woods. We can get 5, 10 more players on it. I don't know. I'm guessing in my head, just saying things. That's what that's going to be. That's what that's meant to do, is give you the capability of doing that. But maps that are not big enough to do that, that just means they're going to run that much better because they're capable of running a lot more players or a lot more AI. Now they don't have to. It also improving hit registration, increase in accuracy of positioning, which is basically where the server says you are and your client says you are, lining those up. Sometimes your buddy will die and he'll be like, oh, I died in this room, and you'll go over there and he's not in that room and he's in a completely different room because the server thought he was somewhere else than his screen showed him. I imagine it has some stuff to do with that. Noticeable increase in FPS and online raids, reducing the chance of encountering the desynchronization with the server, less desync, network traffic optimization. So this is the fix your desync or fix your game BSG. That's kind of this update looks like here. Pretty heavy technical update on the back end, as well as new culling system for old locations. So right now the culling system is running on streets and lighthouse, and they're going to expand that to all the locations. And what that basically means is if you can't see something, like if you're in a building and you can't see outside of it, it's not going to render a bunch of stuff that you can't visually see. That's the idea of what culling is. Or something that's on the other side of the map, or it's completely obstructed from your vision. It's not going to render those items and use up system resources. So it's just a way to make the game run better. Like I said, Nikita said this during the Tarkov TV that it's already on streets and lighthouse. It's still being worked on, but it's already implemented on those, and they're going to implement it on the other locations, and this is where they're doing that. They've got optimizing RAM consumption, including elimination of possible memory leaks, so that'll be a big one for people, especially for lighthouse and streets. That'll help people with, you know, hopefully if you have 16 gigs of RAM, you might be able to play these maps a little bit better now. And then optimized rendering system for semi-transparent materials. So something that stands out to me is these are called technical updates. And our very last one is a content update, patch 14. That tells me that this is going to be when we're probably going to get a wipe. And yes, I'm going to say the dirty word. When that is, I don't know. If there was ever a patch that I would say they would sway away from a 6-month cycle, this would be the one, because of the end game material like Lightkeeper and stuff that are in here, the extension of some of the quests and some of the other stuff going on with events and Chronicles of Origin and stuff that they can do. We might not have a 6-month. I don't have any inside information. I'm just speaking off the cuff. Or that means that they could possibly be getting patch 13 in May, patch 13.1 in June, and patch 14 comes in July, and then we're 7 months, which they've definitely done that before. That's not out of the picture. So I guess what I'm trying to say is this is all guesses, guys. Even for me, don't trust any dates that are attached to this by anybody other than BSG, because we don't know when they're going to happen. Nobody does, other than rough hints we get. Like they said that there's going to be a big technical patch in May. And the reason that is we don't know where they're at in some of these things. They could have patch 13.05 done and be 90% of the way through patch 13.1. So those could both happen in May, along with Unity. It's not very likely, but it's still a chance, right? I'm just trying to measure expectations, right? I don't want people to think there's going to be 4 patches in 2 weeks, or that this is showing a roadmap for the next 2 years, because we don't know. But let's talk about the content update, because there's actually some pretty crazy stuff in here. It's going to be the Streets of Tarkov expansion. Now this is in here because it's going to require all this stuff from these other updates in order to make that happen, as far as making the game run better and be able to put more players on it. The BTR on Streets of Tarkov. So this is, Nikita said the BTR is going to be like a taxi, right? It's going to be how you get from one spot to another. Well, that's interesting, because that means that maybe the map's getting big enough that you're going to need that now. So yeah, that's cool. That means that the Streets expansion might be absolutely massive. It might not be like a little corner or a little block, but we might get in. What if think in your head, what if Streets doubles in size for what it is now, and how insane that's going to be. Fingers crossed that'll even run. New boss on Streets of Tarkov. This sounds like it's going to be the Lexos boss. So Lexos is going to go from a place that everybody rushes to because the loot's good and maybe you run into Gluhar, to a place that's going to be like the water treatment plant, that if you don't come at it exactly right, you're going to be dead. So that'll be interesting to see how that changes the dynamic of Streets up quite a bit. Vaulting will be in with this patch 14, and then armored plates for body armor and rework of hitboxes. This is a huge, this bullet point here is going to change the way the game plays massively. This is going to, one of the underlying things that has always been in Tarkov is that when you get into a fight with somebody and your armor's screwed up, So unless you headshot them, or you brought an extra armor in, or you found an armor, you're now running around with your armor full of holes. This is going to allow you to reset that. You can put plates in and put your armor back together. Obviously there's going to be some limitations to that, but think about that. How that's going to change how the game plays as far as PvP, or that stupid PSSKS scav that screws up your Gazelle because it hits you once and now your Gazelle's toasted, and it's not such a big deal anymore with a patch like this. And then the hitboxes. This is going to completely overhaul how ammo reacts. You know, does this guy only have front and back plates on? Does he only have front plates on? You know, throwback to the Black Hawk Down movie about front plate and back plate kind of stuff. You know, all that stuff is going to change how effective certain ammos are, especially the low penetration ammos for places that might not have armor on them. So keep that in mind. That is going to be a huge change. Kit presets. We got a little quick view of this. This is going to be just a quality of life. Make things nice and easy so you can set your kits up, hopefully buy stuff, hopefully get stuff out of your inventory. So that's going to be pretty cool. Weapon animations when interacting with cover. This is, my guess is this so you can mount on cover. which is going to be really nice to be able to finally do for all sorts of different reasons. Holding a position, ADSing, getting a little bit better of an angle, maybe getting your gun through this little slot that's kind of hard to do without perfectly positioning yourself, and then you're high overboard anyways. All that kind of stuff I think is going to come out of this, so that'll be cool. Left shoulder shooting, something people have been asking for since before I started playing the game. So that'll be interesting to see how that comes out. Hideout expansion. We got more stuff coming to the hideout. Yay, I love that stuff. Randomized loot containers. We got a bit of a preview with that. How that works, I don't know. We don't know. We still haven't heard yet whether that means that containers are going to move. Like you're going to be running through woods and there's just going to be a crate sitting out in the middle. I'm being obviously exaggerative there. Or does it just mean that they're going to stay in the same spots, but they don't always spawn where they're at? You know, so the crate that's on the roof of custom, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. You know, that we don't know how that's going to work yet. Rework of recoil mechanics on all weapons types. This is a big one. You talked about it during Tarkov TV about how the recoil system is going to get completely overhauled again, and what that means, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully better. Quick pistol transitions. This is good. This is something we should have had for a long time. Give you incentive to actually use a pistol. You know, switching to your pistol is always faster than reloading. All the jokes that go around that kind of stuff. So keep that in mind, that there might be eventually a day where it makes sense to actually carry a pistol with you every raid. Suppressor durability, sound variations, and subsonic ammunition. This is something that I always wanted that I never expected we'd see. So the fact that it's here is really cool. Right now, subsonic ammunition doesn't act any differently ballistically. I don't want to say that. Subsonic ammunition does not mimic what it does IRL. It travels a lot slower in the game, but as far as penetrations and damage, it's kind of what it is. But the big thing about subsonic ammunition is how quiet subsonic versus supersonic is. The guns in the game right now all shoot almost as if they have subsonic ammunition. Every one of them, every bullet, doesn't matter, and everything's over suppressed. So this whole sound variation with subsonic ammunition versus supersonic, I think is going to be a really cool change to the game, and bring a lot more choice and variability in how we build our kits. Ammunition loading interfaces. This thing strikes me as just a way to load our ammo. So for guys like me that like to stack your mags and spend a lot of time doing that, really cool system that'll hopefully make that a little bit easier to load mags and make sure we got the right ammo in them. Sight brightness adjustments. So this is be able to adjust the brightness on your sights, which is cool, because some sights are way overbloomed, some are not, and it'd be nice to be able to adjust those or turn them up or turn them down, whatever you want. User interface rework. We saw some screen grabs of these during the Tarkov TV. Quest rebalance. They do that with a lot of wipes, which kind of tends to say that patch 14 is going to be a wipe, because that's when they do this kind of stuff. They're not going to change quests, rebalance them in the middle of a wipe. So rebalance the skill levels, skills, and mastering. Again, they can do these changes in the middle of a wipe. They've definitely done it before. As far as like there was one wipe where we had strength that was bugged and people were able to get like level 51 strength and endurance in one raid. And they just once they figured out how to fix it, they patched it and reset everybody back to 0. So that was fun. Even for those of us that didn't glitch it, we still got reset back to 0. But they changed how it worked after that. So they can do that without a wipe, but still usually that goes with a wipe. Bipods and stabilizing firearms with cover. What else to say? Just, mounting to cover and being able to use bipods, something that's going to be super awesome to finally have, especially if you like to snipe like me. Choosing which body part to heal via hotkey. Don't know how this is going to work. Or we're going to have it's via hotkey, huh? So what the problem is does this mean we're going to start getting into World of Warcraft territory where you have like 75 hotkeys? Because does that mean that you're going to assign your hotkey on 4 to do your chest and then 5 is going to do your head? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how that is. Hopefully they integrate it properly and it's useful. Helmet flashlights, which there technically is a helmet flashlight. It just doesn't work really well, and there's no hotkey to turn it on and off. You have to like put it on your gun, turn it on, take it off, and then put it on your helmet, and then it's on, but you can't turn it off. So we'll have to see how that works out. Meds and food consumption upon double click. Nice little quality of life change. Just be able to double click on stuff and use it. So that'll be cool. And then they're going to add the AK-12, the PKM, the RPD, the PKM and RPD. If you don't know what those are, go Google them real quick and be fearful. Be absolutely fearful, because a belt fed Mosin or SVD, however you want to look at it, that's what those are. And some of the higher end rounds in the game were not designed, they were built. So 7.62 by 54R is originally a Mosin round, but let me go look in some of my other things. If you look at BT, for example, this is the high pen tracer round. This is meant for machine guns. belt feds, and it's one of the highest pen rounds in the game. So keep that in mind, that a lot of the higher end rounds were never designed to be put in a Mosin. They work, but they were meant to be shot out of a belt fed, and that's what these things are. So that's a pretty big gun that's going to be in the game. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. The SVT-40, which is a semi-auto Mosin, or an SKS that shoots 7.62 by 54R. And some people are criticizing me for that. I'm just trying to get it so people that aren't gun folks understand what this is. The SVT-40 is a semi-automatic rifle. I think it has a 10-round box mag, but it might be 20. I didn't go look before I looked at this. That is semi-automatic. So keep that in mind. It is going to be a very powerful scav weapon. It's old, but it's still going to be incredibly powerful. The 9A91 and then the underbarrel grenade launcher for the SCAR. All of those are going to be, looks like they're going to be coming. And then they have a dot here for other. So hopefully that just means that if other things get finished that they didn't want to put in here, or maybe there's stuff that they want to surprise us with, which is probably what it is, because Nikita loves to do that. Other things are going to be coming with a content update. But that's it. That's everything. This was kind of a longer video, so I appreciate you hanging out through it. Get through that whole roadmap took quite a bit to talk about, but hopefully you got some information in there, get you hyped up a little bit. I know a lot of people are kind of down on the game because we're late wipe and blah blah blah. Hopefully that gets your optimism up for what we got coming. Game's going to be getting better. I'm excited for it. Looking forward to all of that stuff. Obviously, quick shout out for my music. Go check it out. Links down in the description. It's all my music. It supports my content, my streams, all of that kind of stuff. If you listen to it, it's free on Spotify, and then all the other music places as well. If you're a content creator, you can use it in your YouTube videos or on your stream without risk of DMCA takedowns or copyright strikes. Just all we ask is you attribute us so people know where you're getting it from. Helps us spread the word. So again, go check that down in the description. It helps me out a bunch. Other than that, we'll wrap her up. Thank you guys for watching. I wish you the best of luck in your raids, and we'll see you in Tarkov.